It is game day in St. Louis. Once again, a picture-perfect late Saturday afternoon at Busch Stadium. Our 2015 National League Division Series coverage on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. It's game 2 this afternoon. The Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Busch Stadium. Great to have you with us here on this late afternoon. I'm Brian Anderson, along with the Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley and Joe Simpson. Well, the Cardinals won yesterday. It was a 4-0 final. They played a near flawless ball game in yesterday's victory. John Lackey was the headliner, but Joe, the St. Louis Cardinals got some production from some unexpected sources.
Yeah, yesterday before the game, BA, we were talking about all the contributions of the Cubs rookies. Well, last night it was the Cardinals rookies who stole the show, and it started early. First inning double from Stephen Piscotty, and he scored the first run of the game. Bottom of the 8th, Tommy Pham, his first at-bat in the postseason in his career. He goes deep, and then it was Piscotty again, 2 batters later, who goes deep for a 2-run homer to give them a much-needed breather there in the bottom of the 8th to make the advantage 4-0. Great starting pitching last night, Eck. That's going to be a tough act to follow tonight.
I tell you, tonight you're probably going to see a lot of change-ups, especially with the shadows early on. And for the Cardinals, Jaime Garcia, finally healthy. You talk about a guy with a great swing and miss changeup, great sinker baller, and a lot of experience in the postseason. You see there his 7th start coming up. And over on the other side with the Cubs, a guy with not much experience at all. His first postseason start, he's been hot down the stretch for the Cubs, and they're looking for big things for him. To me, this could be a bullpen game for the Cubs, but this is a major swing game as far as the Cubs win. If they could pull this off, they got Arrieta waiting in the wings.
Yep, and that would be game 3, and that would be at Wrigley Field on Monday. It's a big one. These longtime rivals matching up here for game 2. We'll check in with Matt Weiner next, and then we'll play ball from St. Louis.
Game 2 of the NLDS between the Cardinals and the Cubs is set to begin here in St. Louis. I'm Matt Weiner. Cardinals starter Jaime Garcia's history of injury has made him a tantalizing yet frustrating player at times here, and he missed nearly the first 2 months of this season after undergoing thoracic outlet surgery, the latest in a series of procedures that dates back to Tommy John surgery in 2008. But his lack of durability may prove to be an advantage here today. There are just 6 combined hits against Garcia among the Cubs hitters in the lineup here today. Advantaged pitcher. Cards first baseman Brandon Moss, who likewise has never faced Kyle Hendricks, told me, you can watch all the video you want, but there's nothing like seeing the stuff and the delivery of a pitcher in person. Brian?
All right, Matt, thanks a lot. That has been a big topic here today with the Cubs and the Cardinals, for that matter. The stuff of Jaime Garcia as he hits the field. The Cardinals right behind him. And we are just about ready for Game 2 of this NLDS. And the Mexican-born left-hander ready to match up against this batting order turned in by Joe Madden. It is brought to you by T-Mobile. And we highlight Jorge Soler, the 23-year-old Cuban-born rookie in his first postseason start. Did get a pinch hit appearance last night. Bryant, Rizzo, and Castro are hitless thus far in 2 postseason games, right in the heart of that Chicago batting order. Shutout last night, 4-0. That was John Lackey last night doing most of that work. And Eck, today it's going to be Jaime Garcia. You talked about his changeup. You talked about maybe this being a bullpen game, but if Garcia's right, he is a guy that can take you deep into a ball game.
You see right there, he finally made 20 starts. He hasn't done that since 2011, and when he's on, I mean, he has got a great sinker moving all over the place. Got a swing and miss changeup. This guy, they've been waiting for him. He's been clutch for them since the middle of August. So this guy, didn't expect to see him 20 starts this year, but you're going to look for a lot of ground balls from Jaime.
Completely rebuilt left arm, his pitching arm, elbow surgery, shoulder surgery. Joe, how about the Cardinals defensively? Any changes here tonight?
Well, first of all, Yadier Molina's left bum will be severely tested today with all those sinkers and changeups from Jaime Garcia. There is one notable change, and that's at first base, where Brandon Moss will start this afternoon. We saw him come in defensively last night. That means that Stephen Piscotty's going to move out to right field. No Randall Grichuk tonight in the lineup. Holiday and Hayward in left and center, respectively. Good defense for St. Louis.
Well, Piscotty was one of the headliners from last night. Had a couple of hits. He scored the first run after he doubled in the first inning, and then he hit that put-away 2-run home run as the Cardinals put 3 on the board in the 8th inning. Sellout crowd here in St. Louis as usual. And they are ready to roar here as we get Game 2 underway from Busch Stadium. Dexter Fowler, the switch hitter, will lead off against the left-hander Jaime Garcia. And I agree with you, Eck. This is a major swing game. It always is in a best-of-5 series, but especially with Jake Arrieta looming for the Cubs in Game 3 at Wrigley on Monday. And game on from St. Louis. Garcia deals Fowler down the line, foul, trying to jump in quick.
Not a lot of history off of Garcia. They haven't faced him in about 3 years, so you look up and down the lineup, not much history, nothing to go on. You got shadows and a nasty sinker all over the place.
Now, Dexter Fowler is a guy who has faced Garcia, one of the few. He's 0 for 9, and that's going to make him 0 for 10 career. And the first out of the ball game. That's how the evening begins for Garcia on a 6-3 putout, retiring Fowler. And now we'll get our first look at Jorge Soler in the starting lineup for the Chicago Cubs.
I think we're going to see a lot of ground balls tonight, fellas. Both these guys are sinker ballers. They have a high percentage of their outs recorded by ground ball outs, so both infields will be tested.
Garcia, 29 years of age, born and raised mostly in Mexico. He did play his high school ball in Texas and was part of that great 05 draft. There are MVPs and All-Stars all throughout that 2005 draft. 22nd round of that year, and a looping curveball to Soler misses.
You're not going to see too many curveballs here from Garcia, but so clutch for him to have 20 starts this year. It goes without saying, with Wainwright missing at the start of the season, they needed him.
and our Chevrolet pitch tracks. Let's look at the stuff of Jaime Garcia. Changeups, the big pitch for him. And you mentioned, Eck, in the open that changeups are going to be on display here in this game because Kyle Hendricks, the Cubs starter, he lives and dies with his changeup. Garcia certainly has one of the great swing and miss changeups in baseball this season.
And neither guy overpowering. Both of them top out at about 90 or 91.
And the 3-1, Soler takes a called strike. Home plate umpire here tonight is Bill Welke. Joe Cousy was certainly in the headlines a little bit from last night. Everybody kept their cool. There wasn't too many discussions, not much said after the game. And Soler fouls that one back. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Perfect example of the way the ball moves. That 3-1 pitch came back over the middle of the plate. I mean, it was hard to even catch. Got called for a strike. I mean, this guy just tries to throw it down the middle and it goes every which way.
Good note there on the changeup percentage. And that's a base hit. Soler down the left field line, and that's going to get to the wall. Soler on his way to second with a double in his first postseason start. And wow, you could hear Cubs fans making a little noise at Busch Stadium today.
It looks to me like a 3-2 breaking ball. Look at that thing, a looping breaking ball right down the middle. You don't see much of those. Why he threw it, I'll never know, but double down the left field line. Easy double for Soler.
Well, this is one of the things about Soler's game that's very impressive. Long legs, big strider. He can run, he can throw, he can hit with power. Good looking player.
Well, Madden going with the right-handed bat against the lefty. Soler had a pinch hit appearance last night, drew a walk. And now a double in his first at bat. And that'll set it up for Chris Bryant. I mentioned Bryant, Rizzo, Castro hitless in the postseason in the 2 games thus far. They are 0 for 21 combined with 6 strikeouts. And it has been 8 games going back into the regular season since Chris Bryant had a run batted in. It looked like a sure lock that he'd drive in 100 this year. He's going to be the rookie of the year in the National League. But the Cubs desperately need Bryant and Rizzo to get going at the plate.
There's that changeup. I take that breaking ball and throw it in your pocket.
Yeah.
I would throw that.
Perfectly placed, too.
It was very loud here at Busch Stadium last night. It's interesting how quiet it is here to start this game. They were loud coming on the air. They were ready and hyped for this game, but a little anxiety here, I think, to get this one started. Maybe it's the slightly early start. Cardinal fans very savvy. They know who's looming next for the Chicago Cubs in Game 3. And so you win this one if you're St. Louis, and you're in a great spot to advance to yet another League Championship Series. As Bryant cuts and misses, now it's 2-2.
Well, you see the movement on that fastball? I mean, I think it's just a fastball that happened to cut down and in. That's not a cutter. That's just a fastball with life.
And he sometimes doesn't even know what it's going to do when he lets it go.
Here's a 2-2, and Bryant fouls it back. Bryant, one of the 3 regular rookies that have contributed this year. Now you add Soler to the mix. Kyle Schwarber is out of the lineup today. Joe Madden said he didn't even consider Schwarber, who's hot, but the lefty-lefty matchup had him thinking Soler was the best option. So still those 3 rookies in the starting lineup with Addison Russell and Soler and Bryant. And a called strike 3. Garcia punches out Bryant for the second out.
Well, he didn't put the curveball in his back pocket. He brought it back out again. Bryant had a pitch to hit the pitch before this and just froze him with a breaking ball, pretty much middle. He was thinking hard stuff and just absolutely froze him.
And Bryant's postseason struggles continue. Hoping there's time to get him cranked up again. He's a streaky hitter. And so now Garcia will match up against a left-handed hitter. And Anthony Rizzo, one of the two lefties that are in the lineup for the Cubs today. Rizzo actually hits lefties very well. And Rizzo putting together a near MVP season in 2015, be it not for the year that Bryce Harper had with the Washington Nationals.
These shadows could be playing a factor here early in the ballgame. You got bright sunshine on the batter's eye, as the guys in the studio were talking about. That will probably play to the advantage of these change-up pitchers.
2 outs, runner at second. Rizzo takes a ball. 1-1 the count. Rizzo 0 for 3 yesterday. 31 homers, 101 runs batted in this year. He finished third in the National League in RBIs. Did big damage against left-handed pitching this season. Big cut at that one.
Got away with a hanging breaking ball right there. That was a pitch that Rizzo should have crushed. Bryant had a pitch to hit, and Rizzo just had a pitch to hit. I don't think you could see that one.
I'm having to think that on Bryant's, he just lost it because it kind of came out of his hand high, and maybe lost it in that batter's eye because he couldn't pull the trigger. Up on the bat.
And Rizzo, a foul tip right into the mitt of Molina. A strikeout to end the inning. Back-to-back Ks for Garcia to start his day. We are underway. Game 2 of the NLDS Cubs Cardinals. And now the T-Mobile batting order for Mike Matheny. And the Cardinals will stick with Carpenter at the top. But Stephen Piscotty yesterday, one of 5 Cardinal rookies to homer in his postseason debut. And it was a put-away punch last night. 2-run home run in the 8th inning. Piscotty will be in right field to start this game. All right, Eck, how about 25-year-old Kyle Hendricks in his first postseason game?
He's coming off his first full season in the big leagues. You're talking about a guy who doesn't throw all that hard, but great changeup, great command, a lot of ground balls. Smart pitcher, Dartmouth grad. We'll see.
Facing Matt Carpenter. Now, a little bit of history against the Cardinals does Hendricks. This will be his 5th career start against St. Louis, 4th of 2015. And a couple of guys have gone deep against him, including Matt Carpenter, who had a home run off of Hendricks in May, and it was a big home run season for Matt Carpenter this year. 28 homers, a career best.
When he's on, you just saw the pitch that makes him tough. 79-mile-an-hour changeup dropped off the table.
And went back to it. He misses low. Carpenter is the guy who gets it going for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's an excellent leadoff hitter, Joe, but he brought the power game to his game this year as well. Slugging percentage up, home runs are up.
We talked with Mike Matheny before the ballgame about several of their hitters who he believes would come more.
And that ball's deep into center field. Fowler, who plays shallow, on his way back, and this ball is gone. Matt Carpenter out of the gates. Solo home run to start it for St. Louis.
What a statement that is, right from Jump Street. Tries to slip a fastball by him. A mediocre piece of cheese is what this is. Huh? Right down Broadway. 87 miles an hour. You see Kyle Hendricks just drop his head. Carpenter crushed this ball.
Matt Carpenter said yesterday it was about getting into good pitch counts where he could go for it and expecting pitches in those counts. I'd say he got strike and got one he could handle.
What a start for the Cardinals. Carpenter does that a lot. 22 of his 28 homers this year came out of that leadoff spot. And he gives the Cardinals a huge lift early. And now St. Louis already with 3 home runs in this series. 2 in the 8th inning last night. And now a leadoff home run for Matt Carpenter here in the first inning today. It's Piscotty, a wave and a miss. Down he goes on strikes. Good comeback for Hendricks.
But back to what Matheny was saying today was about their hitters, that as they are progressing through their minor leagues, they start teaching them, once they figure out how to make consistent contact, about working counts and getting counts in their favor where they can then go for it and try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And he mentioned Piscotty as one of those guys. Carpenter certainly picked that up from last year to this. Only 8 homers for Carpenter last year.
And now Carpenter is 7 for 11 in his career against Hendricks as Matt Holliday takes a strike. So I didn't think it would come up this early, but you guys like to frequent the pubs, right? So McNally's is a bar on the south side of Chicago. So they're giving away free beer for every St. Louis home run.
Well, they're oiling right now. Right?
Obviously, they're against the Cubs, and they never imagined they'd be giving up on 3 occasions. As Holliday sends that one high in the air to left field. And that's going to stay in as Jackson has room to make the play. Holliday just missed that one. 2 outs in the inning.
Talking to Matt before the game, too, talking about this pitcher, Hendricks, saying he's got to keep the ball on the ground. You start seeing fly balls. That is trouble.
Hendricks is 8-7 on the year. He had a low number of decisions, not because he didn't start much, but because he had 17 no decisions this summer. And those were Cub records.
Here's Jason Hayward. Hayward back in that cleanup spot for St. Louis.
He's starting this game because he was hot in the last couple of starts. I think that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, 2 straight starts of 6 innings and shutout ball in each.
Hendricks was racking up strikeouts as well. It looked like a dead heat just 2 weeks ago on who that 3rd starter was going to be if they advance into the division series. Jason Hamill or Kyle Hendricks. You could even throw Wood in that mix as well. Wood remains in the bullpen. Hamill's going to get game 4 unless they need him out of the bullpen here tonight. Joe Madden said he wouldn't hesitate if he needs to make this a bullpen game. But he is very hopeful that Hendricks is going to be able to pitch deep into this one. If he can give him 6 innings, which I think for Hendricks would be considered deep into a postseason game, Madden and the Cubs would be ecstatic. 2-2 the count on Hayward. The count remains at 2-2.
It's funny how his changeup, he punch out Piscotty. It was a changeup. It looked like a slider. He can make, like you said, he can make it go both ways.
He can cut it.
Looked like Montero asked for the timeout. The Cub catcher. And the 2-2 pitch. And that one is inside to Hayward. Full count to Jason Hayward, who will be a free agent at season's end and a very sought-after free agent. Traded from the Braves to the Cardinals this offseason. Hayward, a shot off the knee of Rizzo to Castro. Hendricks is there for him. And that will end the inning. It goes 3-4-1. And it is the #1 hitter in the Cardinal lineup that starts it with a bang. Home run, Matt Carpenter. A Matt Carpenter home run has the Cardinals up 1-0 as we head to the second inning. And let's take a look at tonight's forecaster presented by FanDuel. And we're looking at Jaime Garcia's ground ball percentage in his career. So it's 57.1. That's very good. And it's been even better this year, Joe.
Yeah, not as good as this year. It was 62%, which is extremely high.
Garcia will face Starlin Castro to start the inning. And strike one to Castro. So Bryant and Rizzo with back-to-back Ks in the first inning with a runner at second base. So Lara doubled for the Cubs. And then Bryant and Rizzo go down, and the Cubs leave another man in scoring position. And now Castro, and he bangs one through for a base hit. Starlin Castro with his first hit of the postseason. And the Cubs have a man on to start the second inning.
Guys, it's no secret that the Cubs need Bryant, Rizzo, and Castro in the middle of their order to do some damage in this series. Not just this series, but if they advance, they've got to have those three guys clicking. We can talk about the rookies and the contributions they make outside of Bryant, like Schwarber and Addison Russell, but those three guys in the middle have got to start picking it up.
And a good start for Castro this afternoon with a single up the middle. And now here is Austin Jackson with the left-hander on the mound, and a left-hander that most of these Cubs have not faced. Madden goes with one of his bench players Austin Jackson, who the Cubs acquired from the Mariners. He was a Yankee, and then he was a Detroit Tiger. That big trade that involved Curtis Granderson, and has made his way to the north side of Chicago.
Went to Seattle late last year. They added him. They almost won it last year, Seattle. Saw what happened to Seattle this year. Everybody picked him. They went nowhere.
A lot of experience in the postseason for Jackson, too. You saw 36 games.
And Jackson is swinging a foul. This is the 4th postseason for Jackson. Those various clubs. He made 12 starts for the Cubs after coming to them at the beginning of September. It was a late August deal. Got to be on a major league roster by September 1st to be eligible for the postseason, and the Cubs were able to get that done with the Mariners. And there's a ground ball in the hole. Peralta, backhand stop, and a throw that's wide and into the dugout. So Wong lost the handle, and Jackson will be awarded second base. Very strange looking pivot.
I don't know if he lost the grip on the baseball or what happened there, Brian, but one of the guys that's really beating himself up here is Yadi Molina, who was a spectator. That's not like him, and he was hitting his chest protector like that's my fault for that ball getting by and into the camera well. That just came out of his hand.
I thought they were going to have a hard time turning that double play. You see Castro on Wong right there, but he had a chance to throw that ball. He wasn't taken out.
No.
So the first blemish for the St. Louis Cardinals, it's an error by Wong, who's a dynamic second baseman, can make highlight reel plays. Does have some errors this year. That puts a runner at second base with one away for Montero, and a little half swing. He goes, and it's 0-1 on the Cubs catcher.
17 errors in the regular season for Wong.
He is just the opposite of Johnny Peralta. Peralta, very little range, but steady, makes all the routine plays. Wong has great range, can really go get him, but can be accident prone at times.
That was basically just a misfire, right? I thought that when I first looked at it, like the runner, he hit the runner because it was like a changeup coming off of his hand.
Just came out sideways.
Second consecutive inning, the Cubs have a runner at second, and Montero pitch in the dirt. Good block back there by Molina. Yadier Molina is not 100% by any stretch. The Cardinals absolutely will not put a percentage on it, but you can just look with your own eyes and tell he's not the same kind of player. He is still a major presence, but he's dealing with a thumb injury, ligament damage in the left thumb, the catching thumb. Runner takes off. Jackson, Molina's throw to third base is late, and that one belongs to Garcia. Jackson got a running start and a big stolen base early. He's there with just one out.
That got the Cubs players off their bench in the dugout too. They were all standing and cheering.
That's definitely on Garcia. Just gave him one look, and Jackson had him timed. No chance for Molina. Easy into third.
So a key early stolen base, and now the Cardinals will bring their infield in. Former Diamondback Montero in his first year with the Cubs. Chance to drive in a run. And that misses down and away. And you can see Molina didn't catch that one well either.
Brian, this is a situation that really haunted the Cubs all year long, and that's getting that runner in from third with less than 2 outs. They were last in the major leagues in this situation, getting that guy in at only 40% of the time.
It's hard to figure, too, a team that scores as many runs. They were one of the highest run scoring teams post All-Star break. Montero works a walk. First and third in the second. The Cubs putting up a threat early. Well, it's Chevy Truck Month, and it's time to make a strong decision, like choosing a Chevy Silverado. Chevrolet is proud to be the official vehicle of Major League Baseball.
Here's where the pitcher batting eighth kind of sneaks up on you. You've got him batting eighth, Russell ninth. So it kind of limits you on what you might be able to do as a manager.
Kind of backfires on you right here.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle Hendricks out there to bunt. Interesting note here on Hendricks. You might have seen it already, but he is the first pitcher to bat 8th in a postseason. The only other pitcher to hit higher than 9th in a postseason is Babe Ruth. Game 4 of the 1918 World Series, by the way, against the Cubs. He was hitting 6th that year for Boston. As Hendricks gets a bunt down, it's a safety squeeze. Jackson will score, and Garcia throws it away. Both runners will advance. The Cubs tie it, and a defensive breakdown inning here in the second for St. Louis.
I mean, you know he's going to bunt. I mean, to me, you should be ready for anything right there. But they didn't give it away.
And Garcia never looked home. He picked the ball up and immediately was ready to throw to first, but never looked home.
It's almost like somebody yelled at him or something, because he looked to first and then went back to looking at home. Like, what are you doing? And then off balance, flat-footed, threw it away.
It looked like Molina was setting himself up ready to take the throw, though. Great speed, great excitement created by Austin Jackson already here.
Eric Lilliquist, the Cardinal pitching coach, a quick visit just to settle things down. As the Cardinals kick it around here in the second inning, that will be officially scored as a sacrifice bunt for Hendricks. Give him an RBI and an E1 on Garcia. Jackson was the real instigator there, stealing third base and then scoring on the safety squeeze.
Like we said, what a great idea to bat your pitcher 8th. First and third situation.
Jackson didn't give it up. He had no lead at third base.
Second and third now. Still just one out. Here is Addison Russell, and he takes a strike from Garcia. It's one of Joe Madden's favorite plays. He's been using it a long, long time. First and third, one out, that bunt. Worst case scenario, if you get it down, it advances. He does it again. Russell, and this is going to bring another run in and out at first. It's a good play by Garcia. He was the only one that had a shot, but a bunt that scores a run on another safety squeeze. And Joe Madden, desperate for runs on the board, plays a little small ball here at Busch Stadium.
You know what I love about it is the fact that he did it with the catcher at third base, a guy who doesn't run well in Montero. But it was a safety squeeze, like you said about Jackson. Heck, he wasn't running until he saw the ball down.
Where do you ever see back-to-back safety squeezes? You talk in Montero, and you see Garcia. It's just a matter of, looked like he was going to throw that one away too. It's like he's shocked out there that they're bunting.
It is the second out. Now a runner at third for the top of the order, and Dexter Fowler. Boy, what an inning for the Cubs, and what a defensive breakdown inning for St. Louis. All started with that pivot at second base by Wong. Fowler takes one inside. Dexter almost had a game-changing moment yesterday. He hit a long fly ball out to right that would have given the Cubs a 2-1 lead had it been hit maybe another half an inch onto the barrel of the bat. It ended up about a foot short. Chopper, tough play. Peralta coming in. Bare hand, no play. Another run is in. And the ball has not left the infield in the second inning, and 3 runs have scored. The Cubs lead by 2 now.
I'm with you, Brian. That stolen base at third by Jackson kind of set the tone for this whole inning. Needless to say, the errors have played a huge part, but the Cubs have basically sent a message with that stolen base saying, we're not just going to sit back and wait for a home run.
Do or die play there. He never would have gotten Fowler anyway, but he gets a ground ball and a ball about chest-high fastball to begin with. That was like incredible that he hit a ground ball to begin with. But like you said, Brian, nothing hit hard this inning.
Inning started with a Castro single to center field, but all these run-producing hits and bunts, 3 of them, all in the confines of the infield. It's Soler who doubled his last time up. Boy, this is a great bounce back for Chicago after Matt Carpenter homered in the bottom of the first inning to lead off. The Cubs answer quickly.
He's a little out of sorts there, Garcia. Ball up. I would be too with all that just took place.
Soler looks very cool and calm. That first hit can do that to you sometimes. He's had 2 plate appearances in the postseason and a walk and a double. Soler missed a lot of time this year, about 2 months altogether. Had a bad ankle injury that knocked him out for about a month, and then he had an oblique injury after he came back, and that shut him down for about a month as well. And the Cubs were very concerned that he was not going to have enough at-bats and enough playing time to make the postseason roster, but he did make it, and they're glad they put him on that roster now.
I know this. You better think twice before throwing Soler that curveball again. The one he raked into the left field corner his first time up.
Everything's up. All this stuff, everything, all the fastballs are up. This at bat. Fastball to Fowler was up.
Fowler at first with 2 away. 3 runs are in for the Cubbies. And a big swing and a miss.
That ball started right down the middle and just disappeared. I don't know how Molina catches it.
Yeah, you do.
But you see how Molina, he'll set up real late. He won't give him a target. He waits till the last second to stick his glove up.
See what he has in mind for him. Yep, and steps off.
It's like he's just trying to stab it. You see where his glove is? He doesn't give you a target.
Check on Fowler at first. Fowler's a base stealer, but against Molina, he's like the shutdown cornerback in the NFL. You don't run much on him, but he's not the same Molina right now. It'll be interesting to see if the Cubs, if they get a lead like they have now, if they'll try to push it a little bit. And there he goes. And a swing and a bouncer foul from Soler.
Molina reminds me of a guy catching a knuckleball.
Right, I told you, it's late.
Yeah, he's just waiting to see where the pitch is going and then
stab it.
Tries to put his glove in front of him.
Mike Matheny talked to us about the damage that Garcia can do to a catcher. That little bit of run he has that moves into a right-handed batter. That is tough on a catcher's thumb, and that's the injured thumb for Molina. High fly ball into center field. Hayward, long way to go, and Hayward's looking up, and that one is gone! A home run! Jorge Soler! Welcome to the postseason, senor. 5-1 Chicago.
Joe, he threw that breaking ball again. Left it up out over the plate. Doubled the first time up. This is damage right here. Ball carrying today. I don't know if that ball goes out at night, although I think he crushed it. Just look at that hanging breaking ball. Yeah.
What an inning for the Cubs. Now Bryant is up and is swinging a foul.
Cubs show their sick power they have from those young kids. I've heard nothing but crazy things about Soler, and I finally see him hit the ball the other way with authority.
Yeah, he's extremely strong, outstanding talent.
And now Bryant sharply on the ground to Peralta, and that will retire the side. What an inning. 2 safety squeezes for the small ball, and then the big bomb by Soler. Coverage today provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires when they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Busch Stadium version 3, downtown St. Louis. And that highway that is next to the ballpark is 55. And that's the road to Chicago, and we'll all be on that highway after the game tonight, setting up for game 3 at Wrigley Field on Monday. Look forward to that one. Kyle Hendricks now has a 4-run lead. Boy, this one turned quickly after the Carpenter homer in the first. The Cardinals commit 2 costly errors in that second inning, and the Cubs do big damage, scoring 5 runs. Not one of those runs was an earned run in that inning.
That was a good pitch he didn't get.
Would have got it last night.
Chevy pitch arsenal for Hendricks there as Peralta. And oh, what a play. Russell to his feet. Throw to first in time. My goodness. Addison Russell showing some serious range for out number 1.
Yeah, that wasn't a 25 hopper that he made a diving stop on. Breaking ball. He got that on the first hop. Great stab. Got a little help on the other end from Rizzo, who pick it over there at first base. Outstanding play.
Doesn't get any better than that. That is a big league play. Both ends.
Now Hendricks fired up, knowing that is a big time play early in this one. Here's Moss now. This is the one change Joe talked about in the lineup. Brandon Moss gets the start today. Yesterday Matheny had Piscotty playing first base. And today it is Moss with Piscotty out in right field. So no Grichuk today.
Well, Moss finished the season swinging the bat pretty well, Brian. That was one of the reasons he made the change. He wanted to see if he could carry that into this postseason. One of their hotter hitters.
He was 4 for his last 7. 4 hits in his last 7 at-bats in those 3 October games. Had a couple of doubles as well and 2 walks. He's been packed up for a while to get this start, and Hendricks gets the strikeout. His second punch out, 2 up and 2 down in this second inning.
That's a swing and miss changeup. You see it once again. Moss all or nothing.
I know you're a believer in this shutdown inning type mentality too.
That's why that play at shortstop. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to go kiss him over there for that. Are you kidding me? Bullet, you get an out.
Yadier Molina now with 2 away. Molina been taking a lot. Lance Lynn started warming up just at the end of that last inning with Garcia on the mound. He has continued to throw while the Cardinals are at the plate. Might give you an idea that he's coming in for the 3rd inning. We'll see. Garcia with his head down, dejected on that bench. And one of the errors was his error that really set up the inning as Molina into right field. Back on it, Soler with the glasses on, and that's a 1-2-3 inning. And that shutdown inning you're talking about, Eck. Cubs lead at 5-1. We go to the 3rd.
5-run second inning for the Cubs. Started really on this box double play throw by Colton Wong. That put Austin Jackson at second base. He promptly stole third, and in the first of 2 squeezes. Now watch this. Garcia heard Molina calling for the ball. He looked back, then he had to rush his throw to first, threw it away. It led to a big inning. It also led to him leaving the ball game.
And the box score is going to show that Garcia pitched 2 innings, no earned runs, but he's out. Lance Lynn is the new Cardinal pitcher. 31 starts for St. Louis this season, and now working out of the bullpen in this postseason.
This is a guy that may have started game 2 if he was throwing the ball well, but he's given them a lot of innings this year. 31 starts on the season, 12 wins, a low ERA. This guy throws nothing but fastballs, by 85% fastballs. A lot of experience in postseason. This is his 24th appearance in postseason. 14 out of relief, but you see the fastballs there galore.
Yeah, it's a different guy than what was out there moments ago. This guy is a power pitcher, 90 to 94, hard slider.
Anthony Rizzo leads off for the Cubs. Cardinals got a run on a Carpenter homer in the first inning, and then the Cubs score 5 runs in the second, and Rizzo draws the walk. And that might be the thing that gets him going. Rizzo still hitless, but that's a walk to start the 3rd inning. Mike Matheny's had to go to plan B early here. Lance Lynn, one of his starters on the original schedule, one of his 4 starters for this NLDS. Michael Wacha and Lance Lynn. Lynn was scheduled to pitch game 4, but they'll make the adjustment for that down the road. They need him here in game 2 this afternoon. Wacha will get game 3. And he's got Jake Arrieta to deal with on Monday at Wrigley.
Dennis, I'm curious about this quick change. I know it's a 5-run inning. They were all unearned. One of the errors by Garcia himself. Do you think they kept Lynn warming up because maybe the body language of Garcia when he came to the dugout, that he was down in the dumps, and thought, we need to get him out of there?
I thought he lost it, didn't you? I mean, I really did. I said he's out of sorts. I mean, he really was. It just affected him. Those 2 plays, they can't help but affect you right there. You make a bad throw, you duplicate it again. He almost threw it away again, and he was up, to begin with. From the first inning on, he wasn't really down in the strike zone.
And those 2 hanging breaking balls to Soler tip off 2.
Then has come in, and he has thrown 6 consecutive balls here. Starlin Castro got it all started last inning, had a single back up the middle.
Not an easy thing to do, all of a sudden come into the bullpen after starting all year long. I don't care if you have history, haven't done it before. You've been starting all year.
He's been starting for a while as well. There's the first strike after the visit from Molina. Cardinals have Lynn in the game, but they still have activity in their bullpen right now. So, Eck, you said when we hit the air, this feels like a bullpen game. I thought maybe that was skewed toward the Cubs with Kyle Hendricks making his first career start. Castro with a hit and run on. That's a base hit to right. And Rizzo never slowing down on his way to 3rd. The Cubs execute the hit and run to perfection. 1st and 3rd with nobody out in the 3rd inning.
You know you're going to get a fastball. It's a perfect time to do it. He can't throw strikes. He's trying to throw it right down the middle.
Yeah.
He's trying to throw a strike.
And he did get a perfect one to go to right field on.
That's classic. A guy, Rizzo, doesn't run all that well, but he could have walked into 3rd. Castro doing a nice bit of hitting right there, hitting the ball the other way.
Castro has been a great hitter in this game at times. Matter of fact, he led the National League in hits as a 21-year-old. He's in the dirt. Molina keeps it in front. Close enough. Everybody holds their ground.
Well, since he came into the league, BA, the only guy that has more hits than him is Andrew McCutchen.
Starlin Castro with 991 hits since he debuted in May of 2010. Cubs were a little concerned maybe they lost him a little bit. Addison Russell took his job at shortstop. Castro's been swinging the bat well since early August, and he's given him 2 big hits in this one. And finally, the Cubs getting production from the middle of their order. Jackson shows bunt. Why not? It's worked twice already. The Cubs are going to safety squeeze the Cardinals to death here in this game.
They had bunters camp, didn't they, there for a while? And
yeah.
we talked about that the other night. Everybody knows how to bunt in this lineup. No shame in bunting, especially when it works.
First and third, nobody out, and a swing and a roller to third base. That's foul. Foul ball. Called quickly there by the home plate umpire, Welke. Right off the foot of Austin Jackson. Jackson was the real spark plug, the real igniter last inning. Yeah, you could see clearly off the top of his foot.
Got a shin guard, but he needed something on his instep.
One ball, two strikes. Cubs have him at the corners. Yeah, that one misses a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Gary Jones going through the signs again. Reminds me of UL Washington with that toothpick.
Yeah.
That's a rally toothpick for the Cubs today.
UL was probably his eye.
And that's up and away. So Lance Lynn has come out of the bullpen and he has struggled to find the strike zone. Cardinals have another reliever loosening and ready to come in. Carlos Villanueva is in the St. Louis bullpen. Full count to Jackson. And a swing and a miss. Down he goes on strikes. Lance Lynn needing that one big time. First out of the inning is a strikeout. Well, official caps, hoodies, jackets, and more. You can celebrate with your favorite team at the MLB.com shop. A lot more Cubs fans, at least a lot more Cubs fans in their Cubs gear today than last night. The series will take a day off tomorrow and then pick back up at Wrigley Field on Monday. That is going to be a great atmosphere there in Wrigleyville as Montero with a big swing and fouls it back.
Well, I'll tell you, looking for a ground ball right here, double play would be huge. And this game's getting out of hand. You don't want to score anymore. It would be a little momentum boost if they can get out of this inning. Montero looks like he's trying to go deep.
And he certainly has the pop to do it. 15 home runs this year. Cubs got him from the Diamondbacks. He brings a lot to the table. He is their everyday catcher. Yesterday, David Ross started. David Ross catches John Lester. That's why he got the game one call. But it's typically Montero behind the plate. Cubs carry three catchers, Ross, Montero, and Schwarber. Although at this point, Schwarber pretty much just an outfielder. 0-2 the count on Miguel Montero. And Lynn's pitch is fouled off.
Here's another one of those runner at third less than two out situations though for the Cubs that I talked about was a problem for them most of the year. An opportunity with a fly ball just to get that guy in from third and add to your lead.
And while Joe Madden believes in the safety squeeze, he doesn't believe in it that much to have Montero try to do it. So Montero's been up there swinging away.
Down and away here.
And this is away. Cubs grounded into the second fewest double plays in the major leagues this year. Only the Rangers grounded into fewer double plays. Montero would be the candidate. Montero with a big swing. That is no two-strike approach right there. That's a full-on hit one into the bleachers swing.
He's trying to get one in the air over the seats. I mean, is what he's doing. It's a weird situation with a pitcher on deck. You know, you got to be careful, but he's going after him.
And that may be why Castro is still at first base. Even if he swipes second,
right,
put Montero on and work to Hendricks.
Big spot for Lance Lynn. Here's the pitch, and Montero ground ball. That is past Moss. Wong's got it, and Lynn is there for him. However, another run comes in for Chicago. A well-placed ground ball by Miguel Montero. And a run is in on Lance Lynn. The Cubs now have a 6-1 lead in the third inning.
That was a good at bat. He fought off some pitches, had some good hacks and some fastballs. And on that, what looked like an off-speed pitch, able to top it into an RBI.
He did a good job because he didn't hit the ball hard. He hits the ball hard. It's a double play, but I agree, he had a good at bat.
And these 2 run-scoring innings for the Cubs, set up by various small ball plays, the safety squeezes, the stolen base at third.
Good swing. Matt telling us before the game that Hendricks can swing it.
Well, his numbers wouldn't tell you that, but that doesn't always mean much. He's just in his first full season in the big leagues. He hit 50 this year. Oh, 50.
Yeah.
That was a hard 50, though.
I think that's a good idea, though, what you just said. What'd you hit this year?
50.
50 what?
Well, he did drop down a beautiful safety squeeze last inning. Cubs used a hit and run earlier this inning to set up their run.
You notice I don't say anything. I'm not talking about hitting.
Pitchers
hitting. They just don't.
0-2 the count. Runner at second, and Hendricks takes a ball high from Lynn. Well, the Cardinals, as I mentioned when we began our broadcast, played a near flawless game yesterday. That has not been the case today. Lance Lynn coming out of the bullpen does surrender a run, a walk and a hit. Cubs now lead 6-1. One Cubs have the lead, in our coverage of the 2015 NLDS on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. And between innings, Matt Weiner had a chance to visit with Joe Madden.
Joe, I'm guessing when you came to the ballpark today, you didn't plan on 2 safety squeezes and a home run to account for your big inning.
Did not. I'd be lying if I said so. We've been working on different things. You got to be prepared for a lot of different stuff this time of the year. You can't always rely on the home run. And our guys, we didn't execute the first one really well, but we'll take it.
Carpenter got to Hendricks for the leadoff homer. Nothing since. What's your read on him?
Well, I mean, he's actually throwing the ball pretty good. They've made some good contact, though. I'd like to see a little bit lighter contact. They'll feel a lot better.
Thanks, Joe.
My pleasure, buddy. Thanks.
And our thanks to Joe Madden spending a little time with us between innings, talking about his right-hander, Kyle Hendricks, in his first postseason appearance. The Dartmouth grad has an economics degree, and Joe did point that out before the game. He said fly balls that are hit well means trouble for Hendricks, and that has happened on a couple of occasions in this one. And a swing and a miss as Colton Wong strikes out. Excellent changeup from Hendricks.
How about no contact at all? That's all right. Soft contact, no contact. 6-1 lead.
That's his 3rd strikeout. John Jay's going to pinch hit here. So Lance Lynn out there for just 1 inning. Still keeps him in a position to start game 4. You could also have Garcia do that. That'll give Matheny some options. So Lynn goes just 1 inning, gives up a run, and now John Jay off the bench. And a strike from Hendricks. Jay was another guy that was questionable to make the postseason roster. And because of the injuries to the outfield for the Cardinals, specifically Matt Holliday and Randall Grichuk, Matheny felt like he needed to add to his outfield depth. So Jay makes it, and Hendricks, wow, quickly dispatches John Jay on 3 pitches.
That was a beautiful setup there.
Not a beautiful thing, that little fastball coming back on the inside corner.
Well, Matt Carpenter gets a big hand. Take a look at StatCast, powered by Amazon Web Services. This was the first batter that Hendricks faced in his postseason life, and a 412-foot home run by Matt Carpenter, and they had this place jumping quickly.
That would rattle a lot of people. He has settled in nicely, especially after that 5-run 2nd inning.
And Carpenter loses the bat. Look out in the seats. Oh man, that bat helicoptered into the stands and hit a fan. That lady, I hope she's okay. That just missed the netting. Cardinals, unlike a lot of major league teams, major league facilities, they actually have a lower netting, but Carpenter's bat went flying over the top of it.
How do you get your bat back? I mean, that never happens, huh?
Cardinal fan.
Cardinal fan. Totally. God, she's okay. She's got her in a hand.
Got her hand up there quickly. Way to be alert.
Baseball's looking into doing something about the protective netting, raising it up, running it down past the dugouts. Hopefully that happens sooner rather than later to protect fans.
I'm sure there will be a gift headed her way from that Cardinal dugout. I hope so. Carpenter's got his gamer bat back, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Carpenter, little jam shot, pop up, long run for Russell, and he'll run it down for the out. So Hendricks has answered well after that home run. 9 up, 9 down since the Carpenter long ball. November 8th and 9th on TNT. Between innings, Matt Weiner had a chance to catch up with the Cardinals skipper, Mike Matheny.
Well, Mike, the 5-1 second inning was largely self-inflicted, specifically on the Hendricks bunt. What happened with Garcia and the communication with Molina?
Yeah, I think he just came up first looking the wrong base. And, you know, we can't give a team like this in these kind of situations the extra outs, the extra bases, also with the ball not turned to second base. You know, those are plays these guys make. Today he got away, and it cost us 2 runs.
Was the plan for Lynn to just go 1 all along?
Just kind of watch, see how it looked. But this was his day for a side anyhow, so we could get him in, get him out. Maybe get an opportunity to put another bat in there to get us going.
Thanks, Mike.
All right.
And our thanks to Mike Matheny. Addison Russell for out number 1. So the Cardinals have made a pitching change. That's why Matt referenced the 1 inning for Lynn. We saw the pinch hitter John Jay. And the new pitcher, Eck, is Carlos Villanueva, a former Cub. He is in there for the Cardinals. His first postseason since 2008.
You see the games and the innings. You don't see that often out of a bullpen guy in this day and age of 1 inning. So he's a multiple inning guy, and he features almost everything. Fastball, slider, changeup, curve.
Villanueva has an excellent changeup as well. And a swing and a miss. Dexter Fowler out front. Back on the left side goes Fowler, the switch hitting leadoff man. Fowler had an infield hit and an RBI in the second inning, part of that 5-run second inning for the Cubs. St. Louis is carrying 2 long relievers. Villanueva's the right-handed option. Tyler Lyons is the left-handed option for Matheny. You see the Chevy pitch arsenal for Carlos Villanueva this year. And Fowler, a hot one over to first base. Nice pick by Moss. And out number 2 for Carlos Villanueva.
And Villanueva's not a burner either. He's high 80s, low 90s, relies on sinking action and that slider to get some ground balls, and he's already gotten 2 here this inning. Although hard hit.
Looks like an easy play in slow motion, doesn't it? That ball was got some hair on it.
Oh, here is Jorge Soler now. He's been the big bat in this Cubs lineup. Joe Madden played the card, put Soler in the lineup. He has delivered, had a ringing double to the fence in the first inning. And then he hit a bomb in the second inning to cap off a 5-run frame for the Cubs. Villanueva falling behind. Soler, 23 years of age, signed a 9-year contract as a 20-year-old as a free agent defecting from Cuba. In fact, it was Yoenis Cespedes that was the first guy that year. That was 2012. That was the first window in the Theo Epstein, Jed Hoyer era in Chicago, and missed out on Cespedes. It was thought, rumored to be, that the Cubs had a good chance at Cespedes that year. He ended up going to the A's, signed that 6-year deal with Oakland. But then they got their man, Soler, signed him to a 9-year deal, but knew he needed a lot of seasoning in the minor leagues. Well, he made it quickly, and he's having a major impact on this game. That's his 4th trip on base in this series, his 3rd today.
I thought he had a really good at bat last night when he drew the walk from Rosenthal. He's not going up there just free swinging, just trying to hit one into the seats on every swing. He's drawing his walks, and when he does get a good pitch to hit, he's not missing.
Keeps the inning alive for Chris Bryant. 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a ground out.
Talk about needing some tutelage in the clubhouse. Earlier I saw Manny Ramirez over there. I forgot completely about him having been coach for them, hitting coach.
He was in the minor leagues with a lot of these young players coming up. Manny Ramirez, great influence. What a postseason hitter he is. There's another ground ball to short, and Peralta will go the easy way to win the inning. So Villanueva comes in for the Cardinals, settles it down a little bit. Cubs have a 6-1 lead in Game 2. The upcoming schedule is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Mets-Dodgers coming your way next from Dodger Stadium. The Mets won last night. Jacob deGrom was outstanding last night. Beat Kershaw and the Dodgers. And then tomorrow back in the American League. And the Texas Rangers have a chance to be the first to advance. It has been interesting in this postseason thus far that the road teams have done the damage. 6 wins, 2 losses for the road teams in the postseason so far. Stephen Piscotty leads off for the Cardinals. By the way, in that Mets-Dodgers game, that is Zach Greinke, the ERA champ in the National League, against Noah Syndergaard. 4 for the Mets.
Tough year to try to win the Cy Young, huh? I mean, really.
A lot of candidates, a lot of guys that certainly are deserving. He's one of them.
Well, we're going to see the other one on Monday. There's Piscotty with an obvious hit. Stephen Piscotty just keeps on hitting. 2 last night, including a 2-run homer and a leadoff single for the Cardinals here in the 4th inning.
Interesting note on Piscotty that when the Cardinals were not able to re-sign Albert Pujols and he signed with the Angels, the Cardinals got a compensatory pick, and it turned out to be Steve Piscotty in the with the 36th pick overall in 2012 draft.
Kid hits the ball all over the field.
Here's Matt Holliday now. And Holliday jumping on the first pitch. A high pop up. Back is Russell in the grass, and he'll call it. Now Jackson wants it. And Jackson makes the play for out number 1.
One of the nice things about Jackson being in there today, that gives them 2 center fielders, theoretically. Austin Jackson, a very good center fielder in his own right. Dexter Fowler's been the center fielder all year long for the Cubs. Both guys with great range.
Big outfield to cover here at Busch Stadium. Ball is definitely traveling better than it did last night. It was about 15 degrees cooler last night, and the wind was blowing in. Today, it's just perfect. Temperature's going to move into the 70s. And very little breeze to speak of. We've seen some long balls already. Here's Jason Hayward.
You talk about first sign of trouble, the bullpen goes to work. Madden was telling us before the game, he was talking about Wood and Cahill, and I thought it would be the other way around this, but he doesn't want to see this get taken away.
It's such a different game in the postseason. Kyle Hendricks rolling along here, had retired 9 straight until that single by Piscotty. As you see Travis Wood getting loose. Madden did say he likes Wood for the bottom half of this Cardinal order. Thinks he matches up very well from Hayward on down.
You got to be impressed with what Hendricks has done, pitching inside with left-handed hitters to try to get some room for his changeup. He's keeping them honest, not allowing them to break over the plate.
2 balls and a strike on Hayward, and that one misses low. 3-1 the count.
Really just a 2-pitch pitcher, but his changeup goes 2 directions. That's hard to do as a starter. Throw 2 pitches, but you saw him kind of almost punch out the side last inning with it.
Now Hayward in a hitter's count. He's the cleanup man once again today. Hendricks checks on Piscotty. Hendricks came to the Cubs organization as an A-ball pitcher in the Ryan Dempster deal. That was also in the first year of the Theo Epstein, Jed Hoyer era. And a shrewd trade that was. The Rangers had Hendricks in their system. They liked him a lot, but he was buried in the lower levels. He was just getting his professional career started coming out of Dartmouth. And was traded at the trade deadline of 2012. Dempster sent to Texas. Hendricks ended up in Double-A with the Cubs the next season in 13, and then ended up in Triple-A last year before he made his major league debut in July of last season. He was lights out when he came to the big leagues.
Yeah, 7-2 last year after he came up, and he wasn't that high a draft pick by the Rangers, an 8th round pick in 2011.
And he is on the mound for game 2 primarily because of what he did in his last 2 starts of the regular season. 12 scoreless innings. Scotty at first. We had another check on him.
The big pitch in this game. I know it's 6-1, but you got a guy warming up. Madden doesn't want this game to get away from him at all.
Find out how much trust he's got in his changeup right here.
A lot of throws over. I don't know if those are being called from the bench or if Hendricks is going over there on his own, but a significant amount of attention being paid to Piscotty.
I'm locked in on the hitter right now. I would never throw over.
Doesn't certainly feel like a stolen base opportunity, but he might be trying to ice Jason Hayward at the plate a little bit. Hayward asked for a timeout and is granted timeout.
3-2 change.
He's got a lot of confidence in it. Let's see if he uses it. And the 3-2 runner goes, and Hayward fouls it off. He was way late on that pitch. It came in at 86 miles an hour.
Goes to show you, 86 got in on him. He was sitting on that changeup.
Yes, he was.
Time.
Pretty good job of fighting it off by Jason.
Runner goes again. Rolls over one. And Castro makes an easy play for the second out. Piscotty will advance to second base. 2 gone in the inning. Well, StatCast powered by Amazon. We look at this great play by Addison Russell. And the arm strength from that position is impressive.
Yeah, it was. That was amazing. 77 miles an hour from that angle after the diving stop.
I like the step and the dive more than the arm.
Looked like a bit of a tricky hop as well. Yep. Robbed Peralta of a base hit. Back in the second inning, that play by Russell.
First runner in scoring position for the Cardinals. 2 for 7 in that spot last night.
And this has been an area of concern for Hendricks as well this year. So in this exact scenario, 2 outs, runners in scoring position, opponents with a .328 batting average against him. Very high. And Peralta, big swing, fouls it back. It's 0-2 on the Cardinal shortstop.
Is it just because he throws so many strikes and he doesn't walk that many guys? He's
Definitely.
around the plate.
Definitely. They're going to make contact. He's not a strikeout guy. I mean, he gets his strikeouts, but I wouldn't call him a strikeout pitcher.
2 outs, no balls, 2 strikes on Peralta, and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Kyle Hendricks, with the bullpen active, puts up another 0, and the Cubs still lead 6-1. Back at Busch Stadium, Game 2 of the National League Division Series. These longtime rivals, Cubs, Cardinals. First time ever they've matched up in a postseason. Carlos Villanueva, the third St. Louis pitcher. He's back out for his second inning. Rizzo leads off for Chicago. Villanueva with a scoreless fourth. Gave up a leadoff single and then retired the next 3 and had a strikeout. Walk, I beg your pardon, to Soler. And Rizzo with a swing and a miss.
Not going to give him the fastball. I'll tell you what, I've seen more changeups in this game than you'll see in a half a dozen.
And this is down and in. So Rizzo has gotten himself into a hitter's count. Anthony walked and scored in the 3rd inning. That was off Lance Lynn. Jaime Garcia started this game with 2 innings, no earned runs, but 5 runs in the 2nd, all unearned. Garcia had one of the big errors. There were 2 errors in that inning. Cubs had a couple of safety squeeze bunts executed perfectly, and then Soler hit a 2-run home run, the capper in that 2nd. Shift is on for Rizzo. And the 3-2 in the air to left. Easy enough for Matt Holliday. There is out number 1. There's a follow-up on Jaime Garcia. And for more on that, let's check in with Matt Weiner.
Yeah, Brian, as you mentioned, it was an ugly outing for Jaime Garcia, and it hasn't gotten any better since. The Cardinals tell us he is suffering from a stomach virus. No telling at this point if that had any impact on his performance, but he is back in the Cardinals clubhouse, presumably seeking treatment.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. So now you start to think about the series moving forward. It was interesting when Matt interviewed Mike Matheny. His focus was more on Lance Lynn about being able to possibly come back in this series.
Because he had to throw on the side anyway. It's like a side day.
Right. Lynn scheduled to start Game 4. So we shall see how that one plays out. Here's Castro.
Well, if it's anything like the stomach virus that yours truly encountered last weekend, I know I couldn't have gone 4 or 5 innings.
Okay. I see. I hope you're okay, Joe. Thanks for sharing that.
I'm telling you, it's rough. It causes a lot of hanging breaking balls.
0-2 to Castro, and that's beat into the ground. Johnny Peralta takes care of Castro for the 2nd. 2 up and 2 down for Villanueva. Say you can follow every pitch of the postseason with MLB.com @bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Stay connected with highlights, replay reviews, scores, pitch tracking, live radio broadcast, and more. Download the @bat app today. And here is Austin Jackson with 2 away, nobody on.
About the insertion of Jackson and Soler into the lineup today.
Well pushed buttons by Joe Madden. Soler's 2 for 2 with a walk. Now Jackson hits it hard into left field, but Holliday is there, and that's a clean inning, and the first 3 up 3 down inning for a Cardinal pitcher today. Cardinals are coming up. Cubs have a 6-1 lead. We have a microphone on Cardinal first base coach Chris Maloney. Take a listen.
That's a knock. Here we go. Stay on that rock, baby. Atta ball, Stevie. Back on the line, busted up.
And the first man on, Brandon Moss. That is a foul ball. Chris Maloney on the microphone today. He did decipher a little bit. Back on the line, busted up is what he said. Line drive, get back to the bag, right, Joe? And busted up means double play.
Yeah, break up the double play.
Busted up. So that makes perfect sense. Chris Maloney's actually the symbol of what the Cardinals' player development and their consistency is. He's been in the Cardinal organization for a long, long time. Was a minor league manager in the St. Louis system. His father, Con Maloney, a great owner, minor league baseball owner, Cowboy Con Maloney, his dad in Jackson, Mississippi. And Chris has been here a long, long time. And that's really the difference in the Cardinals system. Everybody wonders, how do they keep producing this talent year after year? They make sure trades, they go out and get free agents, but their player development system is second to none.
You talk about rewarding their coaches. You stay in the system long enough, next thing you know, you're in the big leagues.
And Moss with a swing and a miss. Kyle Hendricks goes back to the changeup. He carries on here in the 5th inning. That's his 6th strikeout.
This has been impressive. It really has. A lot of swings and misses with that changeup that goes both ways. This one goes away from a left-handed hitter. He's thrown some that went like sliders to right-handed hitters. 2-pitch pitcher, but this has been awesome what he's done so far.
Yadier Molina now takes strike 1 from Hendricks.
Did this last year. He averaged 5.3 strikeouts per 9 innings. This year, 8.4. And it's not because his velocity went up.
Man, look, you see right there, it looks like a slider. That's a changeup.
So the bullpen busy. He's got some backup working too.
Trevor Cahill, Travis Wood getting loose. There's another changeup that Molina fouls off.
I'll tell you what, you've got to be smart when you throw 87 and get guys out. Huh? Hey, seriously.
It's interesting to hear Hendricks talk about his arrival to the big leagues. Now, they don't have near the scouting reports and the video in the minor leagues that you have in the major leagues. There's some, but not to the extent that you have in the major leagues. And here's a guy who is a great thinker, and a breaking ball. Down goes Molina, and back-to-back strikeouts for Hendricks. 7 punch-outs and 3 in a row.
Once again, going both directions. Is that a slider or a changeup? You got me.
80 mile an hour.
That's a changeup, right? I mean, he's got all those fingers on it, and it goes the opposite direction. This is a clinic of changeups. I've never seen anything like it.
The cut change.
Cutter changeup.
The sinking change, and Long sends one way back, and that one is way out of here. Colton Long, on his 25th birthday, has a postseason home run. And a quick strike for the Cardinals. 6-2 Chicago.
Jackson right there, we're talking so highly about this performance. He's got room to give up this bomb. That's a changeup that he left right down the middle. I think he's sitting on it.
You know what? But it's a solo shot. Nobody on base in front of it. He's got a lead. He's trying to throw strikes. That tag.
Long's been a terrific postseason performer in his brief career as a member of the Cardinals. A birthday today, and they'll have a memory. There's the Cardinals within 4. Got a pinch hitter now. So Villanueva does a good job for St. Louis with 2 scoreless innings, and now he'll be hit for. Randall Grichuk will pinch hit for the Redbirds. Big swing and a miss by Grichuk, who has big time power as well. Mike Matheny says he might have the most power on the club, and that includes Matt Holliday and Matt Adams.
There's still a long way to go in this ball game, and for the Cardinals, trying to just peck away at that deficit. A quick strike certainly helps.
And a high fly ball
breakable. We haven't seen any of those. Just a curveball. Probably one of the first, the first pitch breakable he's ever thrown tonight. That ball was launched.
Yes, it was.
Matheny knew it right away. That was another 400-foot home run. The third homer for the Cardinals. Soler's got one as well. 6 home runs in this series already, and Joe Madden will not waste any more time. The crowd is back in it. Hendricks is out as Madden goes to the bullpen. Let's go inside the booth, presented by Esurance, proud partner of Major League Baseball. Brian Anderson with Dennis Eckersley and Joe Simpson. And wow, that changed on a dime, Eck.
You know, I tell you, with solo shots, I mean, you got a 6-1 lead, it's okay, but we were talking glowingly about what he was doing, almost jinxed him, but still, Madden wasn't going to go very far. The leash was short.
3 straight strikeouts, 2 straight homers. Got to go to the bullpen now. Wood gets the call. Mike Matheny said before the ballgame, he said that this ballpark plays big. Not today.
No, not today at all. We've had 4 home runs. All 6 homers in this series has been over 400 feet. And now it's going to be Matt Carpenter. Let's set up the new pitcher here. Travis Wood, the left-hander out of the Chicago bullpen, trying to quiet down this sellout crowd. Wood's been good for the Cubs this year. Madden believes he is much more than a situational left-hander. He's in there to face the left-handed hitting Carpenter, but he's a guy that can get right-handers out as well. He can give you a little length. In fact, they were even talking about Wood as a potential starter in this postseason.
His velocity has gone up since he's gone to the bullpen.
Carpenter takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Cubs are back-to-back home runs from Wong and Bridget. A pinch hit home run for Bridget. Carpenter homered in the first inning. Oh, didn't miss by much. Carpenter is so pesky in spots like this.
Trying to work those counts where he can cut it loose. Throws a lot of cutters. He's got a curveball and he uses it right over the top.
And he missed. Same spot. Now it's 3-1. And Carpenter in the driver's seat. You can tell Matt just trying to get that last out for Hendricks, get him through 5. In the regular season, you probably let it ride to see if you can get him a win. It doesn't fly in the postseason, though. Carpenter takes a strike. Bottom of the zone.
3-1 pitcher's pitch low. See when a hitter throws the bat away, he thinks it's. You never see that. You know it's a ball. You do that right. I mean,
it's right at the bottom of the zone.
I got to have it. That's a strike.
Wood's been working the edges. Full count, 2 outs. And Carpenter goes, a strikeout for Wood. Big out for the Cubs. But St. Louis is right back in it. Back-to-back home runs. Colton Wong and Randall Grichuk. It's 6-3 Cubs as we go to the 6th. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. St. Louis getting back-to-back home runs from Wong and Grichuk, and they are back in it. It is a 3-run game now, and Matheny goes back to his bullpen. Seth Maness will enter, and Miguel Montero at the plate for Chicago. We go to the 6th inning, game 2 of the National League Division Series.
Just a lot of ground balls. Sinker not overpowering by any means.
5th in the National League in appearances. Seager's used a lot. This guy's got good action though in his fastball. Moves a lot.
Carlos Villanueva goes 2 scoreless innings for the Cardinals, and a big swing and a miss. Montero and a 2-1 count. Chevrolet pitch tracks for Seth Maness. See his breakdown. And Montero was late. Fouls it off.
No cross seamers there. I think probably 2-seam with his fastball.
Well, this guy's been in a lot of postseason games for the Cardinals over the last several years too. 15 postseason games and an 0.84 ERA. He's done a wonderful job for them. Getting out of innings, he could get a lot of double plays. Or in this case, starting an inning clean.
Only the Pirates had a better ERA from a relief corps in the National League this year. Cardinal starters had the best earned run average. Shift was on a bit, and out in the grass is Wong, and the rangy Wong makes a nice play on Montero for out number 1. By the way, those back-to-back home runs by the Cardinals last inning, the first time the Cardinals have had back-to-back homers in a postseason since Albert Pujols and Scott Rowland did it back in 2004. That was in that series against the Astros.
Is that off Clemens?
I believe it was.
I think so.
Here's Wood. So the Cubs pitcher will bat, and he handles the bat well. Travis Wood has 9 career home runs, as a matter of fact.
We talked about pitchers hitting 50. This guy's not in that category.
Well,
this guy goes yard now.
Joe, you'll remember, I mean, we were there 2010, the Roy Halladay no-hitter. The closest ball to a hit was off the bat of Travis Wood. Jason Worth made a great diving catch, but that was really the only ball that had a chance to fall in that game, and in that Halladay no-hitter against Cincinnati back in 2010.
I remember the last play of the game.
That
was the play.
Brandon Phillips.
Yes.
But he's 3 for 30. And down he goes. He's still a pitcher.
It's still the first time I've seen a team shift on a pitcher.
Right, it's a good point. Yeah, he's got enough on the spray chart to warrant that, and the Cardinals don't shift that much either. All right, so 2 quick outs for Manus. We're starting to turn a little bit here. Cubs are anxious to get back to the top of their order. Here's Addison Russell, who bats 9th, but a position player. Cubs had a 6-1 lead up until the back-to-back homers last inning. Those came with 2 outs.
This guy's got good stuff, and his arm action, it's like he's throwing it out of from behind his ear.
Sits down. Sinking fastball, and right over the top goes Russell. It's 1-2 now on the Cubs shortstop, who is 0 for 1. He put down one of the 2 safety squeezes in the second inning, and
flinch.
Bill Welke had the flinch piece behind the plate, and look at Matheny is all over him.
He's ready to ring him up right here. You don't see this too often. A little flinch. Oh.
Full-on spasm is what that was. 2-2. Down and in. Welke didn't even look at Matheny. You knew you were going to hear it from the dugout at that point. Just take it. See if Russell can cash in on the break. And he grounds one over to third base. Gobbled up by Carpenter, and that's that. So he had a wave of 2 scoreless. Manus comes in with a scoreless inning of relief, and now the Cardinals have the heart of their order coming up, down 3. to the west. Beautiful shot, sun setting and bouncing off the arch. And Busch Stadium is alive again after the Cardinals get back-to-back home runs in the bottom of the fifth with 2 outs. 6-3 ball game. Piscotty on the first pitch, a fly ball slicing foul in the seats. Travis Wood continues. He got a big strikeout of Matt Carpenter. Came back in that count. He was down 3-1 on Carpenter and came back to strike him out. He continues on here in the 6th inning. Piscotty, Holiday, Jason Hayward coming up. Only the second postseason appearance for Wood. And the first was in that Holiday no-hitter game when he came out of the bullpen. It's 3 1/3 scoreless. That was back in 2010.
Great comments today from Mike Matheny about Piscotty, that he has obvious intellect from his work at Stanford, but that his baseball intellect is very high too, and that it presents a challenge to John Mabry and Bill Miller, the hitting coaches, to continue to present things to him to keep elevating his game, because he gets it and he understands the reasoning behind it, how he can apply it to his game.
Matheny said he's the smartest guy in the room. He knows he's the smartest guy in the room, but he doesn't flaunt that fact. But everybody understands that, so he can drop a little book knowledge, or he can drop baseball knowledge at any time. He's got an impressive Rolodex of pitching sequences. That plays into how he's been successful.
He'll know what to do when he starts to make some money. He'll know what to do with it, right? You start talking about the stock market, whatever, he knows.
Well,
everybody's all ears.
He had 288 in 390 career minor league games. He's hit 305 in the big leagues, 63 games. And a swing and a miss. Travis Wood with a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Wood, his first 2 batters faced.
Both fastballs. He got Carpenter to chase upstairs. That one was well located out at third.
He threw a couple of changeups before that you don't see very often from him.
Coming up next on TBS, it's Mets-Dodgers. That is Greinke against Syndergaard. Game 2. Mets won last night. Tomorrow, MLB Network has the Royals and the Astros, and then FS1 has the Blue Jays and the Rangers. The Rangers can be the first to advance. An elimination game. Cubs are down in this series. Cardinals won 4-0 last night. John Lackey was the headliner with 7 1/3 shutout innings. He was brilliant last night. Seagerst and Rosenthal finished it off. Holiday drove in the first run of this series, and that one's in the air. Left center field, playable for Johnson. Number 2. 3 in a row for Travis Wood. Take a look at the art of performance presented by Jaguar. Talking about Jacob deGrom from last night. 7 shutout innings last night. 13 strikeouts, set a Mets franchise record for strikeouts in a postseason debut, and he tied Tom Seaver for most Ks in a playoff game for the franchise. Those are good names.
Tied Tom Seaver in anything. It's a heck of a night.
75 pitches, 73 pitches, 95 miles an hour. I mean, that's like jumping out of his hand.
He's the rookie of the year last year. Jacob deGrom, a force in this postseason. Here's Hayward. The Cardinals did damage with 2 outs last inning. Trevor Cahill getting loose in case Wood runs into any trouble. Peralta due next. Could be Wood's last hitter. Hayward is hitless, and both of his ground balls have been pulled to the right side. Kyle Hendricks changeup got him. Hendricks goes 4 2/3, 3 earned runs. Joe Madden said he'd be happy with 5 out of Hendricks. He'd be ecstatic with 6. He gets 4 2/3, and the Cubs have the lead. Two and 2 to Hayward. And a another rollover out to second base. Castro is there, and those are 4 big outs for Travis Wood. 4 up, 4 down, still 6-3. The Cubs have the lead in game 2. Let's take a look at today's MLB Memory Bank moment presented by Bank of America. Adam Wainwright, 2 finishers back in 06 in LCS Game 7 against the Mets. Struck out Beltran to send him to the World Series. And then Game 5 against the Tigers, a strikeout of Brandon Inge. Cardinals win the World Series, their first since '82. And Adam Wainwright could be a factor in this postseason. Impressively coming back from Achilles surgery. Wainwright is up and throwing, Joe, in the St. Louis bullpen.
Yeah, his recovery is quite remarkable. I mean, that's going to maybe set a record for an athlete coming back after having surgery in early May and pitching in the following postseason. Amazing.
Well, for now, it's Seth Maness on the mound. He worked a scoreless 6th inning. Cubs jumped out to a 6-1 lead, so they scored 5 runs in the 2nd inning. All 5 of those runs were unearned. Added 1 in the 3rd. It was 6-1 after 2.5. The Cardinals got back-to-back home runs in the 5th inning from Long and Grichuk, and that's where we sit here in the 7th, 6-3. Fowler, jam shot, little flare, and out into left center field, and Hayward can't make the play. Fowler on his way to second. And the throw just late. Fowler's in there. Looked like Hayward had it lined up, but he missed it. Would have been a great catch. Instead, it is a double for Dexter Fowler.
He was calling for it early, guys, and he knows that Matt Holliday can't cover the ground that you would hope he could because of that thigh injury.
He makes that catch most of the time, and that's
Absolutely.
an out. He almost bang play at second. Good hustle by Fowler.
Hayward, a 2-time Gold Glove Award winner. He's one of the best right fielders in the game. And with all the Cardinal injuries to the outfielders, he's in center field for this series. So the door open a little bit. Fowler at second base. Solaire's been the Cubs' best hitter thus far today. By the way, that hit by Fowler, the first Cubs hit since Castro had a base hit in the top of the third inning with nobody out. That was a single. Cubs have only had one base runner since that time. Soler walked in the fourth. Soler in that second inning after the Cubs are playing small ball with safety squeezes. Soler with a bomb to center field and a 2-run home run to cap off the 5-run inning.
That's the hit of the inning. You think about it, to open this game up.
Soler takes the ball down and in. Last year, Soler hit 5 homers, had 89 big league at-bats. Came back this year, hit 10 home runs, 366 at-bats. They feel like he's going to be a 20 to 30 home run performer in the big leagues.
I don't question that. He's going to continue to get stronger and learn the pitchers a little better.
We've already seen some patience from him.
Yeah.
Did not arrive to the big leagues until last year in late August. Had one of his best games to date right here at Busch Stadium. Very early in his career. It was just his 3rd start. Had 9 total bases in a game, including 2 homers in this venue. That was a game that Kyle Hendricks started as well. Crowd wanted that call, and Mike Matheny is barking at the home plate umpire, Bill Welke.
See that open stance. He's throwing that sinker down and into his kneecap. Perfect pitch. Balls inside.
And now Molina wants to go out for a chat. And he will bring Wong with him. You wonder if they're changing the signs here with Fowler at second base.
He tapped the umpire on the chest before he left. I didn't wonder what that was all about. He works those umpires, doesn't he? I mean,
and in a good way.
Yeah.
3-2 pitch. Soler lays off. Another terrific at bat. Jorge Soler with his second walk, on base for the 4th time. And it's 1st and 2nd with nobody out in the 7th inning. Feeney's got some decisions to make here.
Well, again, this guy's a double play reliever for the Cardinals. 15 postseason games that I talked about, how he's pitched so well for them. 8 double plays from right-handed hitters this year, 3 from left-handers.
The Cubs are hoping this is the at-bat. Chris Bryant breaks out. Gonna swing the grounder. Shortstop Peralta over to Wong, and he bobbles the pivot again. Boy, that looked like a tailor-made double play. Now Bryant does run well. Looked like it was right in the wheelhouse, and Wong has his troubles for the 2nd time in this game.
Wong tries to hurry up. To me, it was the not made for order double play. He had to hurry up and get rid of it, and he knew it, and that's why he made a mistake. Backing off at second base towards the outfield. Little flip throw, doesn't make the exchange.
That was Wong's error that helped set up a 5-run inning in the 2nd. So no double play, and that means a pitching change is coming. Adam Wainwright is back. Cubs-Cardinals, the great rivalry now into the postseason for the first time. It is 6-3 Chicago, and a moment here at Busch Stadium. Adam Wainwright is back on the mound. Achilles surgery earlier this season, was injured on April 25th. And he is back pitching out of the bullpen for the first time since 2006.
I would be amped out of my mind. Standing ovation, are you kidding me? And take the mound, and this is a crucial time. You need a double play ball here.
And what a matchup it is going to be right out of the gates for Wainwright. Anthony Rizzo at the plate. Cubs are looking for a knockout punch here. They lead by 3. 2 on, 1 out, and the Cubs have their best hitter at the plate.
I've never seen a guy come out of the bullpen in a situation like this and throw out of the windup. Adams' first 5 or 6 pitches, he threw out of the windup before he threw out of the stretch.
There's at first and third, working out of the stretch, and Rizzo, a shot, caught at third, to the bag, not in time. And Carpenter thinks he got him. He's going to ask for a replay here. This could be huge. It would end the inning if it is overturned, if they decide to challenge. Rizzo got jammed. Carpenter was right there. That could have easily gone into left field for a hit.
You're just thrilled you get an out here. Now you want 2. Ooh, that is so close. Fingertips.
This could be overturned here.
High fastball that hit right at Carpenter.
And Matheny asked for the umpires to go to replay. So this will be in the hands of the umpires working this game in the Replay Review Center in New York.
Oh, that's close. That's fingertips.
Good luck, whoever that is. We don't know who is. There's a few umpires and supervisors looking at this play in New York. These two, they don't have any say in this at this point.
And from Dana Demuth's standpoint, the crew chief at third base, from his angle, he can't tell exactly where or when Fowler's fingers hit the bag. It's in his defense, so
he's not there yet. I mean, it's just
get a better
not
look.
there yet. That's as close as it gets.
Dana Demuth was the calling umpire. He's also the crew chief, so he's joined over there by Mike Winters.
What do you think, Joe? Just quickly.
I thought he was out.
So did I. I thought he was out.
Is there enough evidence to overturn it? This is a major call right here coming from the Replay Review Center.
I think he's lucky that he got the line drive. You're talking about Rizzo hitting the ball the other way. I mean, that would have been double down the line.
And good numbers against Wainwright his career.
Oh. That is so close.
None of the angles yet give you that convincing replay.
Right, because he's not there yet.
Yeah, I don't know if they can overturn that.
There it is. Oh, he's safe there.
I don't know. That toe just...
Oh, it's so close.
The replay error.
That is unbelievable.
Can I change my vote?
Yeah.
I know.
That's a great angle there.
Here we go. Here's the call. Save show. I mean, I don't blame him. There's not enough evidence there to overturn it. It was bang, bang. Look, if it's called out on the field, I don't think they overturn that either.
I agree.
So instead of the inning ending, here is Starlin Castro now. Still runners at the corners. 2 outs for Castro.
250 hitter against Wainwright his career. An Achilles tear. Typically, it's going to be 6 months before you even feel right putting your shoe on. You know, you still might be walking around in an ankle brace. It's usually about a year before you actually feel right and feel comfortable after that surgery.
You sound like you know something.
Been there
right.
recently. He's pitching in less than 6 months.
And a huge moment here. And he's been pitching well since he came back. Got into 3 games. And Castro a shot. Oh, what a play by Wong on a hop. In time for the out. Oh my goodness, Colton Wong. Redemption at its best. Colton Wong takes a hit away The inning is over, and it is still 6-3 Cubs. Wow. Our coverage of the 2015 NLDS on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. And the Cubs still lead 6-3. Adam Wainwright coming on. A line drive out and a rocket on a hop for an out to end the inning. And Travis Wood will continue on here for Chicago as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Chris Denorfia into the game in right field. Soler is out. Cubs have their best 3 outfielders in the game, and Peralta, a little jam shot. Fowler coming in, and Fowler will run it down. Out number 1. Joe, let's go back to that play by Wong to end the inning.
It's just a quick reaction play. He's got no time to do anything other than just try to throw his glove in front of that bad hop. He did it beautifully. And you're right, kind of a tone for what happened earlier in the inning when he wasn't able to get that double play ball out of his glove. Struggled a little bit there too. Right. Still made the play.
That ball left the bat of Starlin Castro with an exit velocity of 97.4 miles an hour. That was blistered. And Wong makes a great play. Here's Mark Reynolds pinch hitting for St. Louis. Travis Wood has been impressive. 5 up, 5 down since he entered the game in the 5th inning. Has a couple of strikeouts. Reynolds pinch hitting for Moss, who was 0 for 2 with a couple of Ks. He'll stay in play first base most likely. Reynolds had a gem defensively last night, starting a double play. His first inning at first base last night. 3 infielders on the left side for the pull hitting Mark Reynolds. At least on the ground he pulls. And a high fly ball deep into left field. Did he get it? Jackson has room and makes the play. And Mark Reynolds almost sending one out of here, but a long out. Out number 2 for Travis Wood.
I was going to say right before that, they need base runners. There's no way they're going to hit 6 solo shots tonight. And He almost won bridge right there.
And now Yadier Molina. Molina has not been much at the plate. He's dealing with that right thumb injury, or left thumb injury, I should say, his catching hand. And jumps on that first pitch, he fouls it away.
He's taken a lot of first pitch swings.
It's so heavily taped, you can even see the batting glove doesn't even quite fit over that tape. There's a little loose in there. And a line shot, that's there. Off the sidewall, Molina will settle for a single. Yadier Molina going to the opposite field. Look at that Cardinal bench. Pointing at Molina.
Well, he just flicked that thing down the right field line. Not much of a swing at all. Took it out of the glove almost. I wasn't sure that ball was going to be fair right away. I thought I had some slice on it. It did, but safe, fair, easily down the line.
It's got to mean something for all these Cardinal players. Mike Matheny talked about the toughness of Molina. He knows he's dealing with a lot of pain. He was a former big league catcher himself, but to see Wainwright come back after surgery, to see Molina stick it out, now he's got a hit. First hit against Travis Wood, first base runner against him. Chris Bosio, fine pitching coach of the Cubs, on his way out. That hit by Molina, by the way, the 90th career postseason hit that ties Albert Pujols for the most among active players.
Yeah, he's already got the mark right now among active players for most games played.
I think he's looking over there at Jose Aquindo and asking if he wants him to run here. I'm guessing the answer is no. No thanks.
He's got protective oven gloves on for whatever comes along.
I mean, the stolen base is probably not what Oquendo had in mind.
It's great that you can see him lapping like that, you know, in the playoffs. And he knows that it's such a stretch for him to play, to me.
Here's Colton Wong now. Here's a key matchup. Lefty on lefty. Wong in the fifth inning with 2 outs, went deep. Wong has 10 career postseason hits. His last 9 have been extra base hits. Ties a record, and he lines out into center field. Fowler is there to make the play. Colton Wong hitting right on the nose. Fowler makes the catch. A huge out for the Cubs, and they still lead 6-3. Tonight's game summary presented by Geico. And the Chicago Cubs trying to even up this series with Jake Arrieta ready to roll in Game 3 at Wrigley. A 5-run second. All of those runs were unearned. Big 2-run home run by Jorge Soler. Back-to-back homers in the 5th inning to tighten this one up. It is 6-3 as we go to the 8th inning. And Adam Wainwright will continue on here for the Cardinals.
Pretty fortunate in that inning. Almost a double play ball, but really 2 bullets. And he continues.
Austin Jackson will lead off. He was the igniter in that 2nd inning. It was a mishandled double play pivot by Wong in that inning. He committed an error. He threw the ball into the dugout. And then Jackson, after making it to second base on that error, stole third. And Joe, I thought that was the key moment in that inning. And if the Cubs hang on to win this game, that'll be the big moment in the ball game if the Cubs win Game 2.
I immediately looked in their dugout, and the whole dugout erupted.
Jackson down the right field line, slicing foul.
It almost ignited their dugout to say, let's go. He got a good jump. Garcia didn't give him a couple of looks. Stole it easily.
Put a runner at third with 1 out, and the safety squeeze. The miscommunication there with Molina and Garcia. Garcia went 2 innings, 5 runs, all unearned, and then it was reported later, Matt telling us he left with a stomach virus.
They were just psyched that they had somebody on third base, right? I mean, they were just the way it happened. They were looking for any momentum at the time.
Carpenter had just homered in the bottom of the 1st. This place was loud. Cubs had not scored yet, and a wave and a miss. Wainwright strikes out Jackson. 1 away. 8th inning. Time for an update from our Atlanta studio. Let's hear from Casey Stern. All right, Casey, thanks. That'll be a fun one tonight. High octane from Syndergaard. Greinke's got the big velocity too, and will have a shot at a Cy Young Award this year. He and Jake Arrieta, but Clayton Kershaw in that grouping as well. Miguel Montero with 1 away.
You know, Dennis, you said when Wainwright came in, you would be amped up with that standing ovation. I think maybe that had an effect even on this veteran pitcher with some of his pitches last inning that resulted in him being in the middle of the plate, because the strikeout of Jackson was a Wainwright A hook.
Right. There's no way you can step on that mound. And with the adrenaline flow that he had, the gods helped him though, right? A couple balls hit hard. Now he's back on the beam again.
Rizzo had that line drive out to third, and then that rocket off the bat of Castro, 1 hopper to Wong. Wainwright starts a clean inning here in the 8th inning. There's nobody warming in the bullpen, by the way, for St. Louis. So this is Wainwright's 8th inning, trying to give him 5 outs. Can't say enough about the work that Travis Wood has done tonight for Chicago.
7 huge outs. I know the line drive that ended last inning was a little fortunate, but still huge outs.
With 2 1/3, no runs, 1 hit. Montero dribbles 1 foul.
One of the tests for Wainwright that they, at least as yet, have not tried, and that is to see if he can cover first or cover a bunt, dropping the bunt down on him, see how he can feel his position.
When he was in the bullpen, he was practicing the first step before he even started warming up. You know, like one first burst of energy, boom, he kept going.
Here's a 2-2 and a called strike 3. Wainwright punches out Montero.
93.
2 outs in the 8th. Say you can follow the postseason right from your phone with Team Stream by Bleacher Report. Get the latest MLB news, scores, highlights, all in the palm of your hand. Download Team Stream on the App Store or Google Play today. Cubs are going to go to their bench. Kyle Schwarber will pinch hit. Cardinals will put a shift on for Schwarber. Matt Carpenter moves over to the right side of the infield. So Here's Schwarber, who's been a hot hitter in his first postseason, his rookie season in the big leagues. Hit one of the longest home runs of the postseason in that wild card game against Pittsburgh. And now, interestingly enough, the Cardinals decide not to use a shift, and they've moved Carpenter back over to third base. That's interesting. Makes you wonder if Adam Wainwright is the one who said, no shifting here. You go back.
Right, but then he throws him a hook. I mean, something he's going to yank.
He'd be the only one who has the authority to set his defense, right?
I think so.
That pause by Wainwright. The 0-1. Schwarber, a wave and a miss.
That's his signature, that hook. It's ended World Series, playoffs, you name it.
High fly ball, left field, slicing, and very little room over there. That'll end up in the seats. Schwarber remains at an 0-2 count.
Adam Wainwright is just stalking on the mound, too. He is a man possessed right now.
Is his windup more deliberate than it was before?
I think sometimes he does that when he's about to throw a fastball. Okay. You know, it's like he slows everything down and then zaps you.
Yeah. 0-2 pitch. Schwarber, down he goes. Wainwright. Strikeout. He strikes out the side in the 8th. Coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires that go the distance inspires what they roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Brian Anderson with Dennis Eckersley, Joe Simpson, Matt Weiner. What a ball game. It is 6-3. The Cubs are are 6 defensive outs from tying this series and giving the ball to Jake Arrieta for Game 3 on Monday at Wrigley Field. We saw Greg Garcia will bat for St. Louis, and Trevor Cahill gets the 8th inning tonight for the Chicago Cubs.
What a story this Cahill is. If you think about it, I mean, he was down and out. Atlanta finally took him, right? Took him off the hands of Arizona. Release him, did they not?
They did.
There you go. Ground balls. Postseason.
And 1 pitch and 1 out for Trevor Cahill. Twice in the last 3 games, he has pitched on the plus side in the 8th inning. Once all year prior to that. So this has been coming for Joe Madden. He's got Fernando Rodney down there. He's got Pedro Strop typically as his setup relievers, but that's not the case here in the postseason.
And they've been telling me that his velocity is up since he joined the Cubs. His changeup is better, and he's always been a ground ball guy. He just found something once he got with the Cubs that really turned his life around in a way, because he was on the way out.
When you think about it, all you have to find it for is 3 or 4 or 5 outs, right? I mean, it's not like you have to start and get 18 guys out or 21. Something clicks. I mean, this guy's a sinker baller.
Matt Carpenter on the ground foul. Ahead of it, it's 0-2 on Carpenter. Carpenter had a key at bat in the 5th inning after the Cardinals had back-to-back home runs. Travis Wood struck out Carpenter to end the inning. Wood was outstanding tonight. 2 1/3. And now Cahill will try to work this 8th inning. The Cubs do have activity in their bullpen, and their closer is up as well, Hector Rondon. 0-2 pitch. Down and in, ball 1. Cahill's ERA with the Braves was 7.5 in 15 games, and found the magic formula on the north side of Chicago. A 2.12 ERA in 11 games with the Cubs. And a called strike 3. Down goes Carpenter. 2 up, 2 down for Cahill.
Punched him out there with a high sinker.
Let's take a look at tonight's playmakers presented by Chrysler. And certainly Stephen Piscotty is on the list. The Cardinal rookies to homer in their first postseason game. And the terrific radio man of the Cardinals, Mike Shannon, did it back in the World Series of '64.
Talked to him about that before the game. Off Whitey Ford.
Nice.
He said slider, hanging slider.
Still remembers it like it was yesterday. Cahill gets ahead of Piscotty. And just slinging it in there. The comeback sinker in there. 0-2 the count. There's Mike Shannon.
And Black, always, right?
He's not happy with that call. Cahill working fast, and a swing and a miss. And the Cubs have found their new setup man. Trevor Cahill makes it look easy in the 8th. 3 up, 3 down. To the 9th we go.
telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Oh, year after year, the postseason produces some great stories of redemption, and I can't think of one like Trevor Cahill, who was left for dead by the Atlanta Braves from a baseball context, and he just came out and lit up the Cardinals. 3 up, 3 down, 8 pitches, 7 strikes, back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. Now we're in the 9th, and Jonathan Broxton is on the mound for St. Louis, acquired via trade from Milwaukee earlier this year at the trade deadline. Addison Russell leads off for the Cubs. Joe, that was such a huge question mark for the Cubs. Their relievers getting to Rondon, their closer, they don't match up with the Cardinals in that respect. But the way Wood has pitched tonight, and now Cahill in the 8th inning, they're toe for toe with him right now.
That was so Joe Madden to me. He got 2+ innings out of Wood, left him out there to work the 7th, brings in Cahill, who has improved his ERA by 5 runs since he left Atlanta, and was brilliant.
But he told us before the game that's what he was thinking. He told us how it lined up for Wood. Wood goes from here to here, and Cahill, it was in his brain. I mean, that was what he was going to do, and he made the move. 5th inning, 2 outs. I mean, boom, he went right to the plan. I think he's afraid of going with Strope. Rodney, have control issues sometimes.
2-2 from Broxton, and Russell down the right field line. Long run. Piscotty runs out of room. Good effort down there.
He's had enough collisions.
Still going hard at it. These Cardinal fans appreciating that effort by Piscotty. Well, what a game going here. The Cardinals shut out the Cubs yesterday 4-0. Jumped out early on a Matt Carpenter home run in the 1st. Chicago got 5 in the 2nd inning, all of them unearned. 2 errors in the inning by the Cardinals. A 2-run home run by Soler capped it off. Cubs added one in the 3rd to lead 6-1. And then back-to-back homers in the 5th for St. Louis to make it 6-3. It's been that way ever since.
And this is a big inning for Broxton and the Cardinals. You've got to hold the Cubs right here and give themselves a decent chance in the bottom of the 9th, knowing what's coming Monday in Chicago.
This bullpen's done a nice job to get him to this point. You think about it.
Now to set up for their closer, Rondon, and Russell on the ground. Carpenter will wind it up, and there is the first out. So Trevor Cahill back with the power sinker going.
Sinkers up, sinkers down, and ground ball. It makes a beautiful thing when you come out in the game, and the first pitch you throw, you get an out, and then that high sinker that came back. This sinker just fell off the table. He's feeling good about himself.
And to strike out 2 batters and still only throw 8 pitches. 7 of those strikes. Looking ahead to the St. Louis 9th inning. Matt Holliday, Jason Hayward, Johnny Peralta, the power company for the Cardinals. One away for Fowler. Game 2s in a best-of-5. Always a swing game. A team that has lost can ill afford to go down 2-0. Most recently, the Giants came back from a 2-0 deficit to win. That was back in 2012. They would go on to win the World Series that year. But Joe Madden has a weapon that most do not, and that is Jake Arrieta, who gets the ball Monday at Wrigley Field. So there's just as much swing for the Cardinals. Long, another diving stop, and another beautiful play by Colton Long. He has had a couple of defensive gems here in the late innings.
Boy, he has made up for whatever problem he had of not turning a double play with these 2 last plays. This one with a lot of range to his left makes it look easy, and that bullet that he caught one hopper when Wainwright was out there. This is a beautiful play. Lays out.
Making 2 plays like he's made the last couple of innings versus what troubles he had earlier in the game. It's unbelievable. He was the same guy.
So here is Denorfia. Denorfia came into the game in right field for defensive purposes. He is batting for the first time here. He's batting in the spot of Jorge Soler, who's going to be one of the stars of this game if the Cubs hang on to win. Soler with 2 hits, 2 walks, had a double, had a 2-run home run in the 5-run second.
Broxton throwing a lot of breaking balls. This is a guy that used to throw the ball close to 100 miles an hour. Not really the same guy.
Broxton has been a closer in the big leagues, been an all-star closer, as a matter of fact, with the Dodgers. Trying to work a 1-2-3 inning. 1-2 pitch, and Denorfia stays alive.
You talk about Arrieta looming on Sunday against Michael Walker, which he used to be the weapon a couple of years ago, right? I mean, he had a playoff run through the.
That is the Game 3 matchup Monday evening in Chicago. A ball and 2 strikes on Denorfia. Got him. Broxton holds the Cubs to 6. Now we go to the bottom of the 9th. Hector Rondon 3 outs away from the Cubs tying up this best-of-5 series. Our coverage of the 2015 National League Division Series on TBS is presented by T-Mobile. Cubs have the lead. Bottom of the 9th inning. Cardinals coming up. It's 6-3. It is a save situation. Don't forget, coming up next, we got Mets, Dodgers from Los Angeles. Greinke and Syndergaard matching up there tomorrow. Back in the American League. Royals, Astros on MLB Network. Jays, Rangers on FS1. Hector Rondon, 30 saves this year. He's been on a nice run of consecutive saves. Hadn't blown a save since August 12th in the regular season. Did have a couple of losses in September, but he was 30 out of 34 this season.
He's got a little breathing room right here. A 3-run save helps immensely. You can get away with making a mistake right here, especially if it's the first time you've been in a playoff game. An opposing ballpark, you kidding me? This guy's done his deal here. 72 appearances.
Facing Matt Holliday to start the inning. And Holliday swinging away early in the count. 0-1 to Holliday. He was 0 for 3, and all 3 of his outs have been fly ball outs to left field, the last of which almost went out.
95 to 98 on the fastball from Rondon. Slider has a good downward tilt.
98-mile-an-hour fastball in 2-2.
Tell me he's not pumped up right here.
And pretty good command. It's all about command for a closer. I have to tell you that, Dennis. He's only walked 15 guys this year.
I have to have that kind of hair. That ball is jumping out of his hand. Not an easy place to close, Chicago. Wrigley Field, over the years, they come and go, don't they? I mean, it's hard to have a long career closing games at Wrigley.
1-2 to Holiday. He fouls it away. It's another one at 98.
Interesting is this inning, he's facing guys, though, that all have a lot of pop. Anybody that gets on, somebody could follow with a home run and really make it a ball game between Holiday, Hayward, Peralta, Reynolds.
Another 2-strike pitch in the dirt.
Just don't want to walk people. That's the biggest deal.
In the middle of the summer, Joe Madden gave Hector Rondon the mental vacation from the closer's role. He was so-so. He wasn't blowing a whole lot of saves, but he did give him a break. He's come back strong. And a ground ball to third. Bryant across the diamond, out number 1 for Rondon and the Cubs.
That breaking ball again. Not an easy pitch to make contact with. Holiday hit it pretty sharply to third.
Cardinals had a fast start tonight. Matt Carpenter homered in the first inning, the first batter that Kyle Hendricks faced. The starter Hendricks only goes 4 2/3. It's been Wood and Cahill, and now Rondon. They try to get to the finish line. A lot of innings from the bullpen tonight. Rondon to Hayward on the first pitch. In the hole, Russell lays out, no chance with Hayward. And that'll be an infield hit, and the Cardinals have a base runner.
Hayward trying to pull the ball all night long. Finally got smart here. Got a fastball, hit this ball the other way. Makes a nice play. He knows he has no chance.
Jason likes the ball away from him. He'd prefer to be able to extend his arms on something away. Able to hit that one in the right spot.
So Hayward, second hit, had one last night. He's 1 for 4 tonight. Now Johnny Peralta, tying run, moves into the on-deck circle for St. Louis. Cubs are looking for a ground ball double play here. And a strike on the corner. That was his cruising speed fastball at 96 miles an hour on the corner.
That was pain. Let's just get this over on the
Forget about it.
Defensive swing, 0-2 the count.
He dots that 3 times. He's got an out. So tempting to throw a slider right here.
Cubs are set up to turn 2. The 0-2, a ground ball, third base. Bryant falls down and throws from his knees in time for the out. If Bryant stays on his feet, the Cubs have a chance to turn it to end the game.
I think they're lucky they got an out, to be honest with you. I mean, it could have been a bang-bang play at second base. I think he was out, but you talk about a slider that he went to right down the middle. Peralta hit it sharply, one hop. He could not keep his balance. Close play at second, he was out.
You're right, Jack. They were lucky to get an out after he lost his balance. They were also lucky that on that slider in the middle of the plate, it was a ground ball.
Should be a bullet to the left.
Castro very wise there, just taking it like a first baseman instead of trying to turn 2. So 2 men are out in the 9th inning. Here's Mark Reynolds batting for the second time. strike.
And he can turn around anybody's fastball.
Just missed the home run last time up. I mean, barely against the wall.
Cardinals are down to their last out. Tying run on deck. And Mike Matheny has sent Tommy Pham on deck. If Reynolds can reach Pham a home in a pinch hit appearance last night with bat as the tying run.
3 runs is just humongous. 2 runs is one thing. 3 gives you so much breathing room. Tying run doesn't come to the plate, unless you really make a mistake. He's lucky where he is right now.
1 ball, 1 strike. And a swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. Rondon is a strike away from evening up this series.
Forget about that slider. Go upstairs with that fastball.
Why mess with it?
Cardinals down to their last strike. Reynolds takes a ball. Oh, man. You got to have some serious faith in your umpire right there. That was close.
It's hard to frame that, 96 was it? 97? Hold it there. It's just a little outside.
Blistering fastball, and Madden drops a wow on Bill Welke. 2-2 pitch. Reynolds on the ground. Bryant's got it. And Bryant across the diamond. It is in time. And the Chicago Cubs even up this series at a game apiece. And their horse is on the mound for game 3. Jake Arrieta. The Cubs with a 5-run second inning hang on to win it. Snaps a 7-game NLDS losing streak. Had won 9 straight until they were shut out last night. They're back with the W tonight in St. Louis. A major win for the Cubs with Arrieta do next.
Right, that's what this is all about, right? This is a major swing in this series. Because of Arrieta, it just does. It just turns the table. I mean, it remains to be seen. He's going to face Walker. He's no slouch. I mean,
you have to figure that if the Cubs lost today, even with Arrieta, if Arrieta pitches his normal game and wins 1 game, it's going to be awfully tough for the Cubs to bounce back from an 0-2 deficit against St. Louis.
Now it all changes because Arrieta and maybe even Lester will get their shot on the mound. Let's send it down to Matt Weiner. Take it away, Matt.
All right, Brian, I'm here with Austin Jackson, who got that wild 5-run second inning started with a steal of third base. After the way things went in game 1, how good did it feel to kind of get the action going on your end?
It definitely felt good. I think anytime you can, put pressure on the opposing team, you're doing your job. We didn't do our job offensively and get those runs yesterday, but we did a good job of bouncing back, keeping our focus, and Hendricks did a good job for us. He was able to, each and every inning give us a chance, and we took advantage of it.
Ever been part of an inning with 2 safety squeezes?
No, I don't think so. But, it worked out in our favor. We've been working on that a little bit, and, we did a good job of executing that tonight.
How much differently does this series feel now, 1-1, with you guys going back to Chicago and your horse on the mound?
It feels good. You having that momentum going into Chicago. I think it's only going to motivate us that much more to really go out there and try to get those wins.
You came really late in the season, an August 31st deal. What have you learned about this club?
They keep fighting, man. It's a bunch of young, hungry guys with a mix of some veterans, and sometimes that's that mix that you need to. You need that fire from the younger guys, and the veterans are there to kind of school them through it a little bit.
Congrats. We'll see you at Wrigley.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Brian?
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. So much to recommend in this game for the Chicago Cubs. But, Joe, we got to start with the Cubs bullpen. So Joe Madden rolls the dice with Travis Wood and Trevor Cahill. 10 big outs from those 2 pitchers to get it to Rondon.
What's amazing about it is what Dennis talked about and what Joe Madden told us in the meeting before the game. This is how he had it set up. He had Wood, he had Cahill. He knew where in the lineup he wanted to use those guys. And it's all with the assumption that you got the lead. So he was assuming that he was going to have the lead when those things happened. and that's exactly the way he had it planned out, and it worked out great.
And Eck, you started the broadcast today talking about the swing game. I know there's a lot of talk about Arrieta and what he brings to the table, but for the Cardinals, that's one that got away for him today with that early lead and all that momentum.
It did. This game could have got out of hand. It really could have, but it was exciting because of the long ball, right? You said these guys are leaving here. They're just a couple guys on base and a long ball. The last inning, if they had only a 2-run lead, this would have been a different ball game, but an exciting game nonetheless.
Oh, and here we go to Wrigley Field next. Man, they are going to be fired up in Wrigleyville. The W hangs for the Chicago Cubs. This series all even at 1 game apiece. Cubs win 6-3. Coming up next, we'll send you to our studio in Atlanta for Dennis Eckersley, the Hall of Famer, for Joe Simpson, Matt Weiner, and the rest of our crew led by Jeff Randolph and Renardo Lowe. I'm Brian Anderson saying goodbye from St. Louis. You've been watching the MLB on TBS, your home for the 2015 National League postseason. After the break, we'll check in with Casey Stern and the guys in our Atlanta studios. The Chicago Cubs, their first division series win since 2003.